Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I will show you a 2015 American 3D biographical film called The Walk. It is based on the story of the 24-year-old French high-wire daredevil artist Philippe Petit. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. Philippe Petit is a street performer in the bustling city of Paris. Philippe likes exploring the city he grew up in and has fallen in love with the people and their kind gestures. This is why he ensures to perform the best tricks that dazzle his crowd. One day, someone in the audience drops a piece of candy on his hat as a token. As usual, Philippe takes the candy and does an interesting trick. However, after the trick, he tries biting down on the candy, but it is a hard candy that breaks his tooth. Philippe goes to the dentist for his pain. He picks up a magazine in the waiting area and is intrigued by a photo of the Twin Towers still under construction. Philippe forgets his pain instantly as he starts visualizing himself walking on a tightrope between the towers. He tears out the article and goes home still fantasizing about it. Philippe's obsession with wire walking began when he was a child. One night, he had snuck into a circus in town and witnessed one of the performers wire walking. From then on, he began practicing at home. He tied 5 ropes between 2 trees, and the 5 ropes turned into 1 as the days went by. One night, he decides to try out his skills in the circus. But before he can take his first step, he is yelled at by an older man. The man turns out to be Papa Rudy, the head of the circus. He's impressed by Philippe's juggling skills and decides to take him under his wing. Unfortunately, as the years go by, Philippe is not satisfied with merely being a circus clown. This infuriates the older man, and he kicks Philippe out. Philippe packs the few things that he owns and leaves for Paris. Shortly after the dentist's visit, Philippe is riding around the street when he sees a beautiful woman playing the guitar. She has amassed quite a large audience and her skills are spectacular. Unfortunately, the audience quickly turns toward Philippe, who begins showcasing his skills right next to her. After the performance, the girl is furious with Philippe for stealing her audience. But Philippe promises to let up if the girl goes for drinks with him. The girl, Annie, agrees, and Philippe shares his dream of walking the tallest building in the world on the date. As an art teacher, Annie is intrigued and invites Philippe to practice his wire walking skills at her music school. The two also begin dating. One day, a photographer, Jean-Louis, sees Philippe doing his thing and wonders if he can take some pictures. Philippe shares with Jean-Louis his dream, and the photographer is impressed. Suddenly, the boulders holding the rope crumble and Philippe falls. Jean-Louis warns him that if such a thing were to happen at a higher angle, the results could be fatal. Desperate to know more, Philippe seeks out Papa Rudy. He offers money and extra services for the man if he agrees to teach him all he knows about wire walking. Papa Rudy does not let Philippe perform in the circus, but he is allowed to practice his skills after a show. As time goes by, Philippe's skills become better. One day, Papa Rudy allows him to perform in a small town by the lake. Unfortunately, Philippe is distracted by a fisherman below him, and he loses focus, causing him to fall into the lake. Following his humiliating moment, Philippe vows to be the best he can be. One night, he sneaks into the Notre Dame Cathedral towers, intending to prove himself. In the early morning hours, Philippe walks between the towers, impressing everyone who gathers to watch him. Since putting your life at risk so blatantly is illegal, the police arrest Philippe, and his story appears in the newspaper, though he is labeled a vandal. When shown the newspaper article, Philippe's attention is grabbed by the picture of the Twin Towers. He believes that he is destined to walk the towers. Therefore, he travels to New York with Annie to check out the towers. Seeing them up close makes him terrified due to the height. However, he manages to sneak into the unfinished observation deck. Here, he learns he can pull it off with the right focus and a good crew. When Philippe gets back to Paris, he is a changed man. This time, his dream is more significant than ever, and he wants to pull it off as soon as possible. The main concern is installing the wire cables at such great heights, ensuring they don't shake. For this, Philippe seeks out Papa Rudy again. Papa Rudy gives him a few pointers on what to do. As a precaution, he wants Philippe to wear a safety harness. But Philippe feels that this will defeat his purpose. After a short argument, Papa Rudy gives Philippe the money he had paid before as funds for his dream. Jean-Louis introduces Jeff to Philippe. Though Jeff is terrified of heights, he is a great mathematician and will help Philippe make calculations to aid his effort. Soon, Philippe is practice wire walking with Annie, putting up obstacles like shaking the rope to mimic the strong winds that Philippe will have to deal with. After completing most of his plan, Philippe sets the execution date as August 6, 1974. Now that Philippe feels confident, he flies with his team to New York. Philippe needs to know as much as he can about the Twin Towers, including the distance between the buildings, the workers, and the schedules that people follow. Philippe visits the towers every day, disguising himself as something. During briefings, he is a French reporter, so he learns about the distance between the buildings, an architect to know the landscape, and so on. One day, he is walking around the construction zone when he steps on a nail. The doctor advises him to rest his foot for a few days since walking might be difficult. However, Philippe continues visiting the towers daily, and the kind-hearted people working on the building often wheel him around in a wheelchair. One day, Philippe is in the elevator when a man recognizes him as the notorious wire walker from France. The man is Barry, and he works on the 87th floor of the North Tower. Philippe takes advantage of this and shares his dream with Barry. After seeing Philippe's seriousness about the plan, Barry agrees to be the inside man. Philippe realizes that he needs something to communicate with his team, and it has to be short range so the police do not eavesdrop on their schemes. Luckily, they meet a man called Jean-Pierre, aka JP, who is an electronics expert. He agrees to aid the plan and also adds two guys, Stoner David and amateur photographer Albert, to help Philippe tie the ropes. Now comes the execution part. On the day before D-Day, Philippe has trouble sleeping. He is so nervous, he thinks that the box holding his gear is his coffin. In the morning, the teams are ready to take action. Barry helps the first team get into the North Tower while Philippe and the second team sneak into the South Tower. Unfortunately for Philippe's team, guards start approaching while unloading the jumping cables. David runs away, scared of being caught, while Philippe and Jeff hide under a tarp. This decision almost claims their life as the tarp conceals an elevator shaft. The two men have to hang on for their lives. As the hours trickle by, Philippe starts hallucinating and imagines Jeff dropping down the shaft to his death. Luckily, he snaps out of it and realizes that the guards have left. He and Jeff carry their gear to the top floor. Philippe signals for Annie's team to shoot the arrow to which the jumping cable is attached. The group shoots the arrow, but Philippe cannot find it. He sees the arrow resting on the side of the roof and manages to catch it before it falls. The team quickly gets to work, seeing that the sun is almost up. Annie and JP watch the progress from down below. Once again, Philippe's progress is slowed because Albert decides to quit, afraid of getting caught. With two men short, Philippe's determination makes him keep going. After everything is set, a man walks up to Philippe. He sees what the group is doing, and then gives Philippe a nod of approval before leaving as mysteriously as he came. Philippe talks to Jeff about it. He wonders whether the man genuinely praised his efforts or if he was scared as Philippe was holding a steel rod. Either way, no one saw or knew about the man, so they called him the Mysterious Visitor. It is time to walk the wire, so Philippe retrieves his costume. Unfortunately, some of it falls to the ground below. Philippe is angry and lets out his frustrations on Jeff. However, upon seeing the look on Jeff's face, he decides to carry out his plan. The sun has just peeked out of its horizon when Philippe steps on the rope. Down below, Annie and JP get the attention of passerbys and direct their attention to Philippe. Philippe walks to the North Tower, and everyone applauds him. However, he still feels unaccomplished, so he walks back to the South Tower. This time he is more confident and even kneels on the wire. He sees two officers waiting to arrest him, so Philippe turns back. He even stops midway to look at his audience. Soon, more police arrive, but Philippe is not done yet. He continues performing various stunts until he feels at ease. Philippe states that walking between the towers with his balancing stick made him feel genuinely thankful and at peace. After walking through 6 times, Philippe calmly surrenders to the police. Everyone, including the construction workers and the police, commends his bravery as his story becomes international. He celebrates with his team when he is released, thanking them for believing in him. Sadly, Annie has to return to France to pursue her dreams, while Philippe opts to stay in New York. In the end, Philippe is given a free pass to the observation decks and visits this place many times, remembering how he made history. What do you think about this movie? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more movie recaps like this one. Like and share this video. Turn on notifications so you don't miss out on new content about your favorite movies. Do you want to keep the entertainment going? Well, check out this related video to see more, and I'll see you in the next video.